What's one thing all of these albums have in common? Other than being great albums, they all have a specific character or version of the artist that represents the music and is the face of the album. Whether it's the blonde wig in IGOR, the red jacket in After Hours, or the boy in Because the Internet. When albums have a character or a persona to stand alongside the music and sort of give you a way to imagine the actual music, it just elevates the listening experience. Take for example, as I said earlier, Tyler the Creator's album IGOR. Not only does it have a great style within the music and in the lyrics, but the album cover and the music videos are just so unforgettable. The grainy pink blue saturated aesthetic and the chaotic character, IGOR, makes this album stand out in a world of forgettable music. When an artist is able to create a new character with every album, it just levels up their entire discography. There's so many artists that make every album sound the same. Not saying there's something wrong with that because they all have their own style, but it just doesn't have that creative aura to it. Not sure if that makes sense, but basically an album is an opportunity to create a separate world with its own environment, story, and characters, a lot like a movie. The artist is the screenwriter, director, and actor, and they have a great outlet to tell a great story. Another example is the version of The Weeknd expressed in Dawn FM, where in the album cover and the music videos it's an old man version of Abel, who collapsed to the excesses of fame, heartbreak, and many other things, which would ultimately lead to his metaphorical death. Not only is the character in Dawn FM unlike any other, but the atmosphere in this album is a pure and creative idea. The radio station, 103.5 Dawn FM, acts as a transition into the afterlife. The character told in Dawn FM is an outlet for The Weeknd to delve into themes of redemption, mortality, and the human experience. The Weeknd consistently succeeds at doing this. In his trilogy After Hours, Dawn FM, and Hurry Up Tomorrow, he builds a different world and a different version of The Weeknd for each of the albums. I have a full video on that if you're interested after you watch this, but let's continue. Another album that creates a unique character and atmosphere is Because the Internet by Childish Gambino. This album is a really thought out project, and he actually says it's the OK Computer of rap. This album is pretty much a soundtrack to a screenplay that he wrote, and it's about a character who's just known as the boy. The boy is depicted as a wealthy, socially isolated young man who lives in a mansion, spending his days online doing things like trolling, tweeting at celebrities, and uploading videos to platforms like World Star Hip Hop, which in the story is a website to post fight videos. I'm editing right now because I forgot to say that when this album was being released, he would play as the boy during interviews.
If I want to kill myself, I will. It's not hard to die. I could do it like right now. But like number two,
Jesus Christ.
Damn.
In the story, it reflects challenges finding a genuine connection, an identity in an age dominated by the internet. All of these albums have a distinct persona, which is shown on the album cover, and just that is what makes the album a more conceptual and story-filled project. While all of these albums are albums that you can listen to casually without knowing the background, having that storyline added to it, it just adds an extra layer of effort into the music and the record. Arguably Kendrick Lamar's best album,
Damn, Kendrick Lamar.
builds an interesting atmosphere. While it doesn't have its own obvious character like the other albums, it does portray a bit of a different version of Kendrick Lamar. In this album, Kendrick is portrayed as a man grappling with internal conflicts and moral questioning. The character embodies the dualities of human nature, struggling between pride and humility, love and lust, fear and faith, and many more. This album separates wickedness and weakness by telling us stories of exactly that. When an album has a storyline, characters, or just a character, and its own style, it makes it more than just an album. If an album is done well enough, it can almost be compared to a movie or books, because in a way they have a lot in common. So to answer the question of how do artists build a character in their music, they simply There's so many more albums that succeed in building characters and good environment, so you can put any I didn't include in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. You can check out my store for some custom designed t-shirts. And if you want to see a video better than this one, click one of the videos on screen.